Hymn number 80. God is our refuge and defense, in trouble our unfailing aid. Secure in his omnipotence, what foe can make our heart afraid? Hymn number 80. The theme of tonight's readings is protection from identity theft. I'll be reading from the Christian Science textbook, Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures by Mary Baker Eddy, and start with the Bible. Proverbs. The fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in the Lord shall be safe. Psalms. Be merciful unto me, O God, be merciful unto me, for my soul trusteth in thee. Yea, in the shadow of thy wings will I make my refuge, until these calamities be overpast. I will cry unto God Most High, unto God that performeth all things for me. He shall send from heaven and save me from the reproach of him that would swallow me up. God shall send forth his mercy and his truth. Genesis. It came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and he said, Behold, now I am old, I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard what Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son. Obey my voice, and go fetch me then. And he went and fetched, and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau thy firstborn. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. Psalms. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Wickedness is in the midst thereof. Jeremiah. Behold, I am against them that prophesy false dreams, saith the Lord, and do tell them, and cause my people to err by their lies and by their lightness. Yet I sent them not, nor commanded them. Therefore they shall not profit this people at all, saith the Lord. Matthew. And seeing the multitudes, Jesus went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Take heed that no man deceive you. Watch therefore, if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready. Ephesians. We henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. But speaking the truth in love, may grow up into him in all things. 2 Corinthians. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. Deuteronomy. When thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days, if thou turn to the Lord thy God, and shalt be obedient unto his voice, he will not forsake thee. Psalms. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in him will I trust. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. Isaiah. Thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine. And from Science and Health. You command the situation if you understand that mortal existence is a state of self-deception and not the truth of being. The Apostle Paul refers to the personification of evil as the god of this world, and further defines it as dishonesty and craftiness. Corporeal sense defrauds and lies. It breaks all the commands of the Mosaic Decalogue to meet its own demands. How then can this sense be the God-given channel to man of divine blessings or understanding? How can man, reflecting God, be dependent on material means for knowing, hearing, seeing? The corporeal senses are the only source of evil or error. Christian Science shows them to be false, because matter has no sensation, and no organic construction can give it hearing and sight, nor make it the medium of mind. Outside the material sense of things, all is harmony. The material body and mind are temporal, but the real man is spiritual and eternal. The identity of the real man is not lost, but found through this explanation. For the conscious infinitude of existence and of all identity is thereby discerned and remains unchanged. It is impossible that man should lose aught that is real, when God is all and eternally his. The notion that mind is in matter, and that the so-called pleasures and pains, the birth, sin, sickness, and death of matter are real, is a mortal belief, and this belief is all that will ever be lost. The loss of man's identity through the understanding which science confers is impossible, and the notion of such a possibility is more absurd than to conclude that individual musical tones are lost in the origin of harmony. Question: is there no sin? Answer: all reality is in God and his creation, harmonious and eternal. That which he creates is good, and he makes all that is made. Therefore, the only reality of sin, sickness, or death is the awful fact that unrealities seem real to human erring belief until God strips off their disguise. They are not true because they are not of God. We learn in Christian Science that all inharmony of mortal mind or body is illusion, possessing neither reality nor identity, though seeming to be real and identical. The science of mind disposes of all evil. Identity is the reflection of spirit, the reflection in multifarious forms of the living principle, love. Soul is the substance, life, and intelligence of man, which is individualized, but not in matter. Soul can never reflect anything inferior to spirit. Man is the expression of soul. The divine mind maintains all identities, from a blade of grass to a star, as distinct and eternal. Both sin and sickness are error, and truth is their remedy. The truth regarding error is that error is not true. Hence, it is unreal. To prove scientifically the error or unreality of sin, you must first see the claim of sin and then destroy it. Whereas to prove scientifically the error or unreality of disease, you must mentally unsee the disease. Then you will not feel it, and it is destroyed. Mortal mind is constantly producing on mortal body the results of false opinions, and it will continue to do so until mortal error is deprived of its imaginary powers by truth, which sweeps away the gossamer web of mortal illusion. Think less of the enactments of mortal mind, and you will sooner grasp man's God-given dominion. You must understand your way out of human theories relating to health, or you will never believe that you are quite free from some ailment. The harmony and immortality of man will never be reached without the understanding that mind is not in matter. Let us banish sickness as an outlaw and abide by the rule of perpetual harmony, God's law. It is man's moral right to annul an unjust sentence, a sentence never inflicted by divine authority. The sick unconsciously argue for suffering instead of against it. They admit its reality, whereas they should deny it. They should plead in opposition to the testimony of the deceitful senses and maintain man's immortality and eternal likeness to God. The divine mind is the soul of man and gives man dominion over all things. Man was not created from a material basis, nor bidden to obey material laws, which spirit never made. His province is in spiritual statutes, in the higher law of mind. Because the so-called material body is a mental concept and governed by mortal mind, it manifests only what that so-called mind expresses. Therefore, the efficient remedy is to destroy the patient's false belief by both silently and audibly arguing the true facts in regard to harmonious being, representing man as healthy instead of diseased, and showing that it is impossible for matter to suffer, to feel pain or heat, to be thirsty or sick. We must learn that evil is the awful deception and unreality of existence. Evil is not supreme. Good is not helpless, nor the so-called laws of matter primary and the law of spirit secondary. Without this lesson, we lose sight of the perfect Father or the divine principle of man. Spiritual facts are not inverted. The opposite discord, which bears no resemblance to spirituality, is not real. The only evidence of this inversion is obtained from suppositional error, which affords no proof of God, spirit, or of the spiritual creation. Material sense defines all things materially and has a finite sense of the infinite. To grasp the reality and order of being in its science, you must begin by reckoning God as the divine principle of all that really is. Spirit, life, truth, love combine as one and are the scriptural names for God. All substance, intelligence, wisdom, being, immortality, cause and effect belong to God. Life is, always has been, and ever will be independent of matter. For life is God, and man is the idea of God, not formed materially, but spiritually, and not subject to decay and dust. The psalmist said, "Thou madest him to have dominion over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things under his feet." The enslavement of man is not legitimate. It will cease when man enters into his heritage of freedom, his God-given dominion over the material senses. Mortals will someday assert their freedom in the name of Almighty God. Dropping their present beliefs, they will recognize harmony as the spiritual reality and discord as the material unreality. There is no power apart from God. Hold thought steadfastly to the enduring, the good and the true, and you will bring these into your experience proportionably to their occupancy of your thoughts. When we learn the way in Christian Science and recognize man's spiritual being, we shall behold and understand God's creation, all the glories of earth and heaven and man. Let's have a few moments of silent prayer and then pray together the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Now let's sing hymn number 361. Trust all to God the Father. Confide thou in none other. He is thy sole defense. He cares for thee past measure. Seek him who has thy treasure. Thy helper is omnipotence. Hymn number 361. Welcome to this testimony meeting. We're glad you're here, whether in person or on Zoom. This church is one of the worldwide branches of the Mother Church, the First Church of Christ Scientist in Boston, Massachusetts. On Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock, we have a church service based on the weekly Bible lesson presented in the Christian Science Quarterly. Children and teens are welcome in our Sunday school at the same time as this church service, and our children's room is always available. In our reading room in this building, you'll find the Bible, the writings of Mary Baker Eddy, Christian Science magazines, and the Christian Science Monitor, an international daily newspaper. The reading room is open 1/2 hour before Wednesday meetings and a 1/2 hour after the Sunday service. Ye are the light of the world. Let your light so shine is the theme of this year's annual meeting of the Mother Church, being held Monday afternoon at 1 o'clock. A webcast for the meeting can be viewed at christianscience.com/annual meeting. A replay will be available Tuesday. I'll now read the Church Manual Bylaw regarding testimonials. Glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. St. Paul. Testimony in regard to the healing of the sick is highly important. More than a mere rehearsal of blessings, it scales the pinnacle of praise and illustrates the demonstration of Christ, who healeth all thy diseases. Psalm 103, verse 3. This testimony, however, shall not include a description of symptoms or of suffering, though the generic name of the disease may be indicated. This bylaw applies to testimonials which appear in the periodicals and to those which are given at the Wednesday evening meeting. Now, in this part of the meeting, we're eager to hear how God has been blessing you through your understanding and practice of Christian Science. Those on Zoom, be sure to unmute yourselves before speaking. Let's close this meeting with singing hymn number 144. In atmosphere of love divine, we live and move and breathe. Though mortal eyes may see it not, 'tis sense that would deceive. Hymn number 144.
Atmosphere of love divine, we live and move and breathe. Through mortal eyes may see not, 'tis sense that would deceive. The mortal sense we must destroy if we would bring to light the wonders of eternal mind, where sense is lost in sight.